The red pill phone tap. We have not forgotten about you.
Never.
We're never going to leave you alone.
We got your back, baby.
You're not alone. We have a good show planned for you tonight. I am Wesley with my dear friend
Anthony. In this bitch.
Anthony, sometimes we can get so wrapped up in what we're talking about. Sometimes we can get so close to the fire that oftentimes we forget how this whole journey started.
Yeah, because there's this level of elevation you just want to get to.
Yeah.
And climb and you hit the height of any possible potential of how you want to say it, exposure to enlightenment. You want to get to the height of that.
Yeah.
And sometimes, man, you can leave some people behind, right?
Yeah, and sometimes basics become so old that they become new again.
Well, think about any time a great player is struggling, what do they talk about?
Got to go back to basics.
They'll say, I got to get back to my fundamentals. I got to go back to my disciplines, the things when it was hard for me in training camp during the summer when nobody else was looking, when I was working out. I got to get back to that point, that shit. And I think we need to revisit how we even got to where we are in the first place.
Yeah, what does the red pill mean? What is it? Is this like a dope strategy to get laid?
No.
Maybe it's a way to trick women into doing what you want them to do.
No.
Maybe it's just really, really good dating tips. That's what the red pill is.
No.
But does it help me get my dick sucked?
Yeah.
Okay.
It can do that.
All right. It's like, I was getting a little worried there for a second. Oh. Don't worry, fellas. We didn't forget about you. Hey, thank you out there in the audience. Thank you. Oh, man. Clap that out. Good Lord.
Hey, ain't nobody mad at good head, bro.
No.
Nobody.
No. And nor should anybody be. Male or female. Anthony, I'm going to read a quote to our audience.
Okay.
This is a quote that you sent over to me. And I think this kind of breaks down what we're talking about. And these are Anthony's words, guys. It says, we have to talk about the red pill and break it down to a point where there is no more confusion about what it means and how to perceive it if you only heard about it. So I've said this before, and maybe it doesn't resonate, but being red pill doesn't make you become anything but aware. That's important, isn't it?
Yes.
That's what this is all about. It's about becoming aware. Now, you further write, it doesn't make you better looking, better speaking, better with women, but it can make you aware of all of these things. And being aware is like the G.I. Joe slogan, where knowing is half the battle. You and I said in the pre-show, still only half the battle.
Right.
Still got a whole other half of the battle.
There's definitely more to it than knowing, but knowing is very important.
But having one segment be 50%, boy, that's a big piece of the pie.
Yes.
Right? You go on to write, obviously, the more you know, the better you are off in any situation. Unless we are talking about a CIA double agent stuff, information is worth its weight in gold. Red pill and the manosphere, as it's known on these internets, is the same notion used in the movie The Matrix. Neo, a fairly common citizen who does some dark web tech stuff, knows that his life seems a little too structured. Several scenes in the movie, he is challenged to take the path of believing what has been fed to him and others their entire lives, or find out a new truth of what is actually happening. The truth is the only thing that is promised. I like the comparison because just like understanding female nature and realizing how they see my value versus how I see my value makes me okay with how I live my life. There are all kinds of measures that define what is valuable in life. How you see value is what matters most. How others see value is the cheat code. The truth, this red pill truth, is not for the weak at heart or mind. It is an ugly, raw, non-fiction ending of reality that is placed in front of you. There are some that have been exposed to this truth and have been completely fallen apart mentally or emotionally or both. There are others who just denied the truth to its face and said it can't be true because they don't want it to be true. Now, there's a lot to unpack there, Anthony. But I do think that I want to start with the first sentence that we stopped at. This is just all about awareness. But I want to go to the last couple sentences really quickly where you said, it's an ugly, raw, non-fairy tale ending. Some people have been exposed to this truth and have completely fallen apart mentally or emotionally or both. Those are our black pill guys, right?
Yeah.
They were told a lie their whole life. And now that they know the truth, they're angry.
Well, not only angry, but uncontrollably angered, right? Like there's a mindset of I need to retaliate.
Yeah. You just said that so perfectly. I've got to take some retaliatory actions to let these hoes know that I know this shit now. Right? Seriously. Oh, shit. Y'all tricked me, bitch. You tricked me.
For years.
Damn it, bitch. Mom, I'm looking at you right now. You tricked me too, bitch.
My whole life.
Damn it. Yeah, we've all met these guys, right?
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've had remnants of those thoughts, but it didn't push me beyond the line of, you know what, I need to make these bitches pay. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. When you said it like that, it just caught me off guard. It's time to make these bitches pay. Look. Y'all been getting away with this shit for far too long.
Exactly.
It's been decades and decades of this shit. Yeah, I mean that is how some men react, right? Like,
well, because you can tell the men that goes in this direction because their energy is a little different than understanding that the way women act, this is what they do. It's like, guys, the way women are doing us is completely and utterly unfair. What I'm decided to do is go online and trick these hoes the same way they treated me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go out on a date with them. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell them all the things they want to hear. And then I'm going to tell them, I don't believe none of that shit, bitch. I got you. Tricked you, bitch.
Tricked you, bitch. I've deleted, because my phone was running slow, I've deleted all of my text messages that had any pictures or GIFs in them. Will you pull up that fucking dating profile?
I can't.
That you sent me? Oh, you can't. Damn it. This fucking guy. His dating profile.
Did I send it? I sent it to you on text message, right?
You did.
Damn.
I wish since we're live in Discord, we can't bring it up. But basically, this guy's dating profile.
Oh my god!
How many times on this show have we said you can't skip seduction?
Hundreds.
Hundreds, easily hundreds. This guy in his dating profile is like, look, I know what you bitches are up to. Here's the thing. Most of y'all bitches need to listen to Kevin Samuels.
Right?
Y'all think you're entitled to a bunch of shit, and I'm going to be the man that tells you you're not. Say, hit me up. We'll try to go, we'll try to go grab some pizza. It was like, hey, man, you're coming in hot.
So hot, bro. Bruh, you have no brakes. And it's all curves. You fucking up right now, bro. Calm down.
Listen, motherfucker, I know what y'all are up to.
Listen, man, when I showed you that, man.
You ever heard the word hypergamy?
What did you tell me? You was like, I've never been as disappointed in a text message.
Oh, I never have, because Kevin Samuels, we endorse Kevin Samuels on this show.
All day.
Because his work is amazing. He's literally, when I watch Kevin Samuels, I'm not kidding, I look at someone and I'm like, this guy can make a change.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can make a change. I don't know if our show makes a change. Hopefully we make people aware, like what this segment is about. But when I look at Kevin Samuels, I'm like, Kevin Samuels is getting through to bitches. Like, he's getting through to bitches.
Yeah.
When I watch his show, I'm like, God, he's doing the Lord's work.
That's what I was about to say.
But when I see somebody take Kevin Samuels' work and be like, Kevin Samuels is right, let me go change my dating profile now. I'm like, man, I that's why I told you, I was like, that was the most discouraging thing I've ever seen, because that guy just missed all of Kevin Samuels' messages.
He don't get it. That's a guy that don't get it, and he's acting like a woman.
Yeah.
Because that's so emotional. All this emotion, all this anger and bitterness that's going on with this, bruh. You don't understand female nature. And one of the things we was talking about in the pre-show is that we understand this exists. It doesn't change who we are. It just makes us aware of what's happening. Because guess what? When you're going through life and you're going through heartaches because women have broken your heart throughout your dating life, or you are just confused on why do they act the way they fucking act, right? So now you're like, I don't understand these hoes, right? These bitches get on my nerves. They're annoying. They don't know what they want. They're always changing their mind. They're shifting and shuffling, and I can't keep up with this shit. And you get frustrated. But what happens is you become red pill. Now you don't get frustrated. You don't get angry.
Well, hopefully.
You do.
I mean, I think that's what we're talking about.
Initially,
some of these guys,
initially it can be it can be. When you first did it, when it first came, like, when you had a understanding, Wesley, like, oh, this is what they're doing. Okay, this is why they're doing it. Well, why the fuck are they doing it like this? Like, you, that in our mind as men, we're logical, right? We're rational. And we're trying to figure out, well, why the fuck would they even think that's something that would even make sense, right? And you're upset with the decisions they made, and you more really upset at what, Wesley? That you didn't know this before. Mm-hmm. Because it was so easy, really, to understand if you took your time out to actually pay attention to it. I was having a conversation on the phone with a woman, and I told her, I said, you know what's easy about women to me? And I said, because y'all think y'all so complex and complicated and all that shit. No. Women are very easy.
So not complex.
I said, y'all are so easy to me. I said, the easy thing about what I notice about women is that it has nothing to do about what I say, clothes I wear, and all that bullshit that y'all think matters. If you can see me in my best, if I'm doing something expertly and I'm at the top of my game in whatever I'm doing, and you get to see that in me, your pussy wet. Period. Mm-hmm. And that's what you're looking for. You don't know why you're attracted to this guy. You wouldn't even chose this guy, but it's something about seeing a guy doing something he's very passionate about and doing it very well.
One of the things that I would compare dealing with women, I think this is a great comparison, and you're going to hear tonight in this segment. You're going to hear us talk about lions a lot because we like that analogy when it comes to the dynamic between men and women. But if you see these people, a lot of people have seen the documentary Tiger King.
Yeah.
I understand. Now, I'm not a person that's going to own a tiger. But could you understand why people do own tigers?
Yes.
Me too. I'm like, these creatures are, I mean, just to be around them, this is it. The one word, I know it's overused when it comes to these big cats.
Majestic.
Majestic is the word. Yeah, I mean, I know it's overused, but I don't know a better word. When you see one of these giant cats, majestic is the word. It's like I understand why people want to be around them. However, when you're around them, you can't just be all willy-nilly.
Gotta respect the claws,
gotta respect what's
the
happening.
fangs,
yeah,
the muscles,
or you end up dead.
Right.
The people that have ended up dead or mauled by one of these big cats were doing what? Getting too motherfucking comfortable.
Yep.
This is how it is with women. You can adore. I adore the form of women. I mean, I'm a guy that goes to a lot of restaurants. I love the female form. It's fucking amazing. I just love all the curves. I love all the extra parts they have. Some of the parts they're lacking. I love the female form. I just can't not like it. However, just like people that deal with big cats, I understand the dangers. I make myself aware.
Yeah.
These bitches will manipulate you. These bitches will do this. They'll do that. They'll do this. I think it's becoming more illuminated to me, Anthony, now that I have a toddler. Because, these toddlers will just do their best to manipulate you to get an extra piece of candy, won't they?
Yep.
Like, you have to, but you don't understand the toddlers trying to manipulate you and go, man, I found out about these toddlers, man. Fuck these toddlers. I'm tired of these goddamn toddlers, man. Fuck these kids. That's not what you do. You still love these majestic creatures, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. That's what the red pill is about, guys. We're trying to make you aware. We're not trying to make you angry. Does that kind of help, Anthony? When we start to define what the red pill is, we're trying to make you aware. We're not trying to make you angry. And guys, this used to not be a thing. For most of humankind, we weren't lied to about women. It's just that in a capitalistic society, what is the statistic, Anthony? When it comes to spending, of every dollar spent, I believe 73 cents of every dollar is spent by a woman.
I thought it was 80 something, but it might be that.
I think it's 73 cents.
I just
heard this statistic.
80. Yeah.
So when you're making television shows, when you're making commercials, when Steve Harvey makes his own show, who are you going to cater to? The people that are fucking spending 73 cents of every fucking dollar. Women. And then when you cater to them for decades and decades and just kiss their ass and make this fucking alternate reality where all they want to do is be surrounded by people that fucking tell them shit they want to hear, things start to get out of whack. Then single moms start teaching their children all this shit that they want to be reality. And then we end up where we're at today, where society's very confused. We're just all very confused. We don't understand.
Let me ask you.
How come if I cry at Disney movies and I'm super sensitive and I'm not the dumb jock on the football team, because I watch all those movies and the dumb jocks, they never get the girl at the end because they're just dumb. I don't want to be one of the dumb jocks. and we watch all this media, and it's presented to us our whole life because this is shit that women are purchasing, and women have been, over decades, they've been fed all this candy, everything they want, anything derogatory that they don't like, they just don't buy it. And then they encourage their man and their whole family not to buy it. They're done with this bullshit. And over decades and decades of that, we end up in a bizarro fucking reality where we start to think all this weird shit is true. Because, Anthony, when you're battling for the 73 cents of every dollar spent, when you're battling, whether you're Disney, whether you're a fucking Warner Brothers, whether you're Gillette.
I was just about to say Gillette.
When you're battling for that money, you got to go harder and harder. We love women. Yes, we do. We love women. How about you? We love women. Yes, we do. Women are the queens. Yeah, women are the queens. Not only that, but women can, all men are toxic. We hate all men. Only women are the good ones. And then it makes a bizarro fucking reality.
Man, shout out to the real ones that caught that reference.
The Gillette one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Kevin Samuels was being interviewed, and he was like, wow, it's a product for men that you think is being purchased by men, and they're lecturing men on how terrible they are. Now, I've never been a professor at a university, but if I were teaching a marketing class in a university, I would probably not teach. Make sure to lecture your audience and make them feel like shit about themselves to get you to buy their product.
Well, Wesley.
That's the opposite of what we're talking about. This is all women have been catered to.
Well, Wesley, apparently it works because me and you were at a bar tonight, and we had a discussion with a gentleman who took that hook, line, and sinker.
Let's jump right into it. Some men, this goes to the part of your quote here where it says some people can never be unplugged because they don't want to believe. They don't want to believe what reality is. Let's start here. We're going to come to the bar conversation. We said that we were going to talk about how lions are in a pride.
Yeah.
How are they set up? They're set up with one male, or maybe another young male.
Sometimes brothers run the pride together.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
They have sexual access to all the females. Mm-hmm. All the females in the pride do most of the work. What the males do a lot of the time is lay around, but they're there
to protect.
To protect from what? Other fucking lions.
Yes.
Yeah, because wild animals compete for resources. Mm-hmm. They have territories. The reason that they don't impose in other people's territories, they all kind of agree, here's my boundary here. If you get injured in the wild, you can't call 911, go to the hospital. Getting injured in the wild is a lot of times life or death. Even if it's just a scratch across your ribs, death sentence, right? So the males are there to protect. We were talking about this earlier. Males don't usually hunt. They don't really do a lot of shit. They're just bigger and stronger, and they're there to protect from the other kings of the jungle, which is other motherfucking lions. They're there to help protect the territory so that they can control the resources in the territory, mainly water and food, right? The women run the pride. Now, when we start talking about the dynamics between men and women and humans, to me, this is very similar. The men are not domineering over the fucking lionesses, right? The lionesses have a really critical role in the community. They do most of the shit. This is what women do in our current community. They do a lot of shit. They're not incapable. I want to repeat that because I think sometimes on this show they want to say that we're trying to communicate that women are incapable. I'm sorry, we are trying to say women are incapable. That's never what we're saying. That's not what we're saying. We're merely saying that men lead in families. That doesn't even mean women can't be CEOs. But in family dynamics, women are not happy when they're with a man that can't lead. This is when women, guys, this is when women leave you. They could be the CEO of, that's about what we're about to get to, American Express. But if they come home and they have to run the family unit, they become unhappy, and this is how divorces happen. Again, guys, using this analogy, lionesses are not some subservient slaves in the fucking pride. They outnumber the male. But they're on the male's program. And guess what happens? Everybody's happy. Mm-hmm. Everybody's happy. Now, sidebar to this, Anthony, what do male lions ever date single moms?
Well, if they do, they kill the kids.
Yeah. First thing a male lion does when he comes into a pride, hey, ladies, it's good to meet you. My name is Wesley. I'm happy to take over. Here's the deal, though. Them kids, they got to die. I'm not sharing my fucking resources with sperm, walking and talking sperm that's not mine. Sorry.
Well, there's sperm.
These motherfuckers got to go.
Well, they lost to me. The father lost to me, so it can't be better than me. So
these cubs got to go. I could kill them. They can run away. Either way, they can't be here. I'd rather kill them because I don't want to fucking battle this dude later when he grows up.
Right.
We've all seen The Lion King.
Exactly.
But the women in the pride, the lionesses, I like that analogy because this is how wives are in family. In human families, rather. They're not like these, yes, master, like I Dream of Jeannie and shit. We've talked about this on the show before. This is the executive officer of the naval vessel. You got promoted to XO, bitch. It's a critical role. It's an important role. Dumbing this down to, oh, so I've just got to be subservient to a man? Anthony, what do these bitches do at work? Do they go to work every day and tell their fucking boss, how come you got to be boss? I can't just listen to no man.
No, they do not.
For some reason, these bitches get it together when they go to their fucking jobs every day. But they can't do it in a family. These bitches that just cannot be submissive and cooperative.
Well, they've been told to go out and get this money and make this paper and be independent. So they've been taught to do this, but they haven't been taught to be wise.
Right.
So when it comes to taking that same energy home and let the man rule or whatever word you want to use, they're like, wait, I'm a boss bitch though, so I'm bossy. And for whatever reason, they think that this is supposed to just play out. But what we've always learned is that women aren't comfortable in this position. It makes them uncomfortable. It makes them uneasy. And they act out. And they do it in a way that makes that man feel unwanted and unneeded. And it typically ends in divorce or separating of a family. And it's never good. So why it continues to happen, I can't tell you.
Yeah, let's just keep banging our head against the wall over and over again and just questioning why our head busts open. Let's just keep doing the same goddamn thing over and over and over again and question why we get the same results. One of the things that I would point out, because you were talking about how women are not happy in those roles, they're not aware that they're not happy in those roles. This is something women are not aware of. So you have to silently be strong. Because of that dating profile, I feel like we have to say aloud, Anthony, that leading and being in charge of a family is not coming in throwing the briefcase at your wife's head, busting it open. Catch the briefcase next time, bitch. I'm in charge. I'm in charge. Where them kids at? Where them kids? Tell them kids I'm in charge. I'm in charge. You need to listen to Kevin Samuels, you dumb bitch. I'm in charge. That is, oh, Jesus.
What do we always say about when we are trying to, introduce ourselves to a woman that we find desirable and someone we would want to incorporate into our life? How do you approach her? With what?
Well, seductively.
Right. So you can't skip it at any point.
Never skip seduction. Because
I'm be honest with you. I even practice it with women I'm not attracted to. And, it kind of backfires on me because they think I want them in that way. But it's just me, honing my own game, right?
I mean, I bet that doesn't happen a lot.
No, I don't go full bore into it. I just...
Yeah. I'm just saying the way you act with my family, you come over and you're in a very charming mood to be attractive to feminine energy. Does that make sense? Like you come over and it's Uncle Anthony. Oh, look at Uncle Anthony. And you have a charming way about you to kind of fuel feminine energy. Because guys, you're never going to hear us on this show say that feminine energy is not a uniquely amazing, beautiful thing on this earth.
I desire it around me all the time.
All the time. Maybe we should say that more on this show. Honestly, because sometimes I do feel like some people listen to the show and they think it's the He-Man woman hating show. That's not what this is, guys. That's feminine energy is a beautiful, unique, amazing thing. Here's the deal. Our beef on this show, with me and Anthony at least, is we don't see enough of it in the world from women.
Right. Okay, so if you've ever watched Kevin Samuels' show, you would hear him when a woman just being too fucking masculine. He was like, look, put your dick away. That's the energy that we see mostly that pisses us off. Because when you have a household and you're trying to run your household and you got a woman constantly beating you across the head because she's challenging every fucking thing you do, you have to be like, hey, put your fucking dick away.
And before you send us your emails like, well, that's what I thought men wanted, a woman that challenges them. Listen to me when I say this, and I want to make this very clear. Ladies, no man wants a woman that challenges them. Let me be clear when I say the world challenges us from the moment we wake up in the goddamn morning to the minute we go to sleep at night. The world is constantly pushing on us and challenging us, whether it's commercials on TV trying to get us to spend money on their shit, or the boss is calling, or blah, blah, blah. When we think about feminine energy in dating or relationships, we're looking to escape challenges, bitches. That's when I think of feminine energy, I don't think like she's really, really feminine and it challenges me. Never. When I think of feminine energy, it's, as Corey Wayne says, it's all about opening up and receiving. Mm-hmm. They want to hear about your day. They want to hear about a goal you accomplished. They want to gently embrace you. You think about your mother when you were a child. She's always got her arms out. She wants to embrace you. That's what feminine energy is. And when you're focused on your purpose, feminine energy is a great escape, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, man. Because, like you said, they're receiving, so they're taking you in. Either be mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, whatever it is, they're taking you in. And it is a relief for you because you're used to having to break through barriers and constantly pound your way through things. But now the door is just open for you. So it's less energy, less motion you have to actually put forth. Now it's more of a relaxed moment for you. It's like when you start hitting heavy weights and then you get the light bar at the end. You're like, oh, this is, wow. It feels like it's nothing because I've been hitting heavy weights all day. And now this bar that's 45 pounds feels like nothing to me.
You seriously blew my mind just then, the way you articulated that. That was so well said, Anthony, that it's just like, it felt like, feminine energy was receiving me. Mm-hmm. Never in the motherfucking world do I want feminine energy to be a fucking Rubik's Cube, a fucking 7,000 piece puzzle, 3D chess. God damn it, man. This whole myth of men want women that challenge them, get the fuck out of here. Where does that come from, Anthony? Men want women that challenge them.
No clue, man.
You know where I think it comes from? Because women oversimplify so much shit, and they overcomplicate themselves when they fucking talk about themselves. I think that originates from women trying to say, he don't want you to just throw your pussy on your... A man doesn't want a woman to just throw their pussy on her hand 5 minutes into the date. He wants to be challenged to the pussy. And they're right. We don't want... I mean, women that are overly promiscuous are unattractive to us.
Okay.
So, the 3-date rule is a good one. I mean, I don't care if we sleep together on the first night, especially if we're having an amazing connection, an amazing time.
Well,
that's fine.
You have to be more than just your pussy on the first date for me to... If you can't be
for
like...
me to want to fuck you twice. Yeah, I'll still... Listen, we'll all... If you're going to lay up some pussy for us, we're going to take it.
All day.
But you might not get a call back for a second date because overly promiscuous women we find them unattractive for primordial reasons. But I will tell you, unless you're a desperate man, if you have a scarcity mindset, this is how people end up in terrible relationships. They have a scarcity mindset, some fucking bitch that has daddy issues that's just fucking everybody, gives it up to him on the first date. He's like, oh my God, this is a steady stream of pussy. I got to keep taking this bitch to dates so I can get more pussy. And the next thing you know, you got 2 kids by a bitch that's sleeping with 6 of your friends.
I got a question for you. Have you ever turned down pussy from a girl you could get pussy from?
What do you think about this before I answer?
The reason I say that
because I want to think about it long and hard.
The reason I ask this question is because it's like, you know, if you get it, how you're going to react. But if you wait to get it, you feel like you will react differently because it wasn't immediately.
Now, I'm going to answer this question specifically now. And I'm going to say, have I ever turned down pussy? I'm going to say no and yes. So, no, never turn down pussy no matter how unattracted I was on the date. Now, but the reason I say yes, I've turned it down, is because if I was scared that an ex was trying to get back with me, I would definitely turn her down because I didn't want to get back together with her. But I don't think that counts because I was in a relationship with him and I already hit that pussy a bunch of times.
Yeah, that's a different scenario.
Yeah, it's a different scenario. But yeah, for the most part, men, it's like throwing a treat. It's like throwing a treat in front of a dog, isn't it?
Well,
it's really, really hard for men to just, no pussy, I'm good.
So, it's a very complicated question, I think. Only because I guess it's on.
Is it?
Well, I'll say this. The reason I made the caveat the way I did was if I like her, right? And if I feel like I'm gonna be unattracted to her if I get the pussy, I might turn it down.
Go through that again. So if you like her,
if I really like her, right?
Yeah.
And if I think I'm gonna be unattracted to her because I got the pussy.
Oh wow! See, you're much more disciplined than I am.
Then I will turn it down so it won't trigger me to believe what I'm thinking, what I believe. Because let's say like
yeah,
this.
but you can't unsee it. If you knew you could have done it, don't you always think that this is a promiscuous woman?
No, okay, so I'll say this. Back in my blue pill days, when I didn't know what I was seeing, right?
Right.
I knew I could get pussy that night, but what was I doing? I was being a gentleman, right? I didn't.
Terrible idea.
I didn't release the beast that was snarling inside and wanted to rip her clothes off in the moment and throw her on the fucking table and rip. You know, the beast inside is always lurking, right?
Yeah. You know, everybody out there, you know the thing women are attracted to, the beast. Yeah.
The beast. Because guess what happens? The same scenario, right? The woman is kind of guessing. She don't know if you even attracted to her. And then you get her alone, and all of a sudden the beast says, this is my time. I'm coming out. And you do what you do. You rip the fucking clothes off. She don't even know she naked yet. Next thing she knows, she coming. And you're like, she's like, where the fuck that came from? Because I didn't even know if you even like me. You ever had a chick tell you, say, I didn't even know you like me like that. Because you were so subdued. You held the beast back. And like in the background. You put him in the your subconscious. You was like, beast man, you cannot come out right now. You scare bitches away. You're kind of gnarly. You know what I'm saying? You be drooling and shit. And the fangs come out. They get fucking freaked out.
Anthony, no, I do not do this, but I'm starting to understand what my problem all along has been. I'm just like, no, I guess I got friend zoned so bad back in high school that I never wanted it to happen ever again. That
you took all opportunities placed in front of you.
No. I'm talking about on a date. On a date around women. There is an energy. I want to fuck you. I ain't trying to hide it.
Okay.
And it's kind of been. And by the way, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I think it started as a defense mechanism, and then it just became my personality.
Okay.
We're going to do a segment on women that it's impossible for them to be cooperative and submissive. And we're going to do a segment on that later on. You guys tune in for that because that's going to be a good one. Anthony and I have been preparing that segment for weeks. But I think that started as a thing where, like, I want to let women know I don't want to be your friend. So I'm constantly giving off that energy like I want to fuck. And then now, after all these years, it's just become my personality. Like, now I can't unlearn it.
Well, but it's who you are. Yeah. It's not what you're trying to do.
Right.
Yeah. So,
but I don't want to be your friend, bitch.
Well, that's
like if you slow down and your skirt is pulled up, you're probably going to get a dick in you. Well, that's the energy I give off. You know?
See, that's totally different. And I think women that actually respond to that kind of energy is actually looking for that, right? And
by the way, I never thought of it till you said it, but you're 100% right. That's what they're looking for.
And so when they get it, they're excited to get it, and they're like, "Great, I got a guy who actually gonna give me what I want."
Well, it's kind of like when a woman is encountering a guy like that, it's kind of like the same experience men get from riding a motorcycle. It's almost like you're controlling this thing that's kind of dangerous. You know what I mean? Like those women that like guys that acted like me when I was dating. Mm-hmm. Those girls liked whenever I was aggressively fucking them. They liked that they were like, I'm kind of scared. A little.
Right,
I was just about to say that. It's
a little fear involved of this guy can do whatever fuck he wants with me right now, and I can't stop him, and I'm turned on by it.
And if you have tattoos all over you like I do, and you happen to be like an MMA fighter or a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu grappler, that adds to it. They're like, whoa, Jesus, this guy could kill me.
Right.
Like I said, it's kind of the same thing as men riding motorcycles dangerously. It's like, fuck, I didn't die.
Right. If I,
You know.
if I do anything wrong, I could die in this moment. But
Yeah.
it's exhilarating, and I'm like, I got to do this again. I want this feeling again, this euphoric fucking feeling. And I think what it was for me, I'm okay. So I do have a beast inside of me. I'm not going to deny that. I was just more disciplined on when it came out because
Anthony, now that you're explaining this, I totally see this about you.
Yeah.
No, I'm taking a step back. I totally see this about you now. Because between the two of us, like, you know, we always say, you know, tongue in cheek, that we're the proper gentleman of the red pill, right? Mm. But between the two of us, I mean, you really are the proper gentleman. There's kind of something about you, Anthony. I can't really put my finger on it, but there's something about you that's like, there's a little bit of that, like you could be an Englishman, like that sort of class that you have. Like, I don't think it would surprise bitches if you were like, hey, cool, but it's 10 a.m. Well, what do you mean it's 10 a.m.? At 10 a.m. I have tea.
Yeah.
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 And you bring out some like crazy cool herbal tea and you just sit there, but you're not like, you're still masculine about it, but you're like, but listen, bitch, this is a civilization we're living in. We got to have some fucking tea.
It's tea
like,
time.
You just seem like you pull that off while staying masculine. I've never really noticed it till this conversation just now. You're kind of that proper gentleman guy. So this is how you are on a date too, I guess.
Oh yeah, every time. I think it throws some women off as well, because especially during like text conversations or even phone conversations, I have a aggressive demeanor on letting you know what my position is and what I want to do with you when I'm with you, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I can still show you I have discipline even around you.
You have like a properness about you.
Well,
it's kind of weird. Like there's some sort of like, it's almost like this chivalry or like manners or something. Like,
to me,
I've never noticed, because you and I have worked together.
Mm-hmm.
I see how my wife reacts around you. Women just look at you and they go, good old Anthony, man, nicest guy ever. The reason I exclaim that is because I promise you guys, and I'm not exaggerating, I promise you women do not say that about me. Like, it's not. But I see the way women react to Anthony. We were in the same workplace together. I see how women react to you in the workplace, things like that. They're just like, oh, I love that Anthony. I love that guy.
Fucking Larry.
I love it.
Larry always called me prestige.
Oh, really? I mean, prestige is a good word. I mean, to me, that is a good adjective for you. You have some sort of like properness about you. It's it's kind of like through like your cooking. You're very particular about cooking. But I don't know, there's something about your manners and your mannerisms that is like, and the reason I'm pointing this out to our audience is because I think that's important to point out. This is all part of your technique when it comes to seduction.
Yes, I wanted to.
You're not putting out a fucking aggressive profile, man. Fuck you, bitches. Kevin Samuels. Y'all need to listen to Kevin Samuels. You dumb hoes. I mean, you come out of the gate. I mean, even my daughter, who's not even 2 years old yet. Oh, Uncle Anthony. And my daughter is. You see how she reacts with everyone else. She's very scared of everyone. But with Uncle Anthony, she's like, oh, Uncle Anthony. You know, you have some sort of thing about you. The reason I pointed out is because I think it's something our audience could benefit from.
Well, what I was going to say about why I do it is to show you that even though I'm aggressive with my wants and what I say I desire from you, and you're in danger because you're around me, you're also still safe. So
it's not like the motorcycle thing with me. You're more like Robert Downey Jr.'s version of like Sherlock Holmes' Game of Shadows. You're like, hey, We're going to do some dangerous shit, but hey, let's wear a nice suit. Let's have a nice pocket watch in our pocket. Yeah, no, I dig that style about you, man. Now, you and I, when we're around men, you and I are very gregarious.
Yeah.
This happened today at a pub, because we're talking about people at the beginning of this segment that know what the red pill is, and we're just trying to kind of refine what it is. But you and I talked about, as soon as we left this conversation, you and I can kind of get in a bubble sometimes. And we got to get outside of our bubble. Because a lot of times, because you and I are in our bubble so much, a lot of times I'm like, you know what? I think men are finally getting this shit. I listen to a lot of Kevin Samuels, a lot of Donovan Sharp, some Rollo Tomasi. I'm like, you know what? Man, Corey Wayne was talking about 3% club. Man, we about to turn this into the 37% club. Yeah. And I get a little cocky. And I'm so glad that we get out and have conversations like we had tonight. Anthony, we were talking about something really simple. And that's why I prefaced it with the lions, the way the pride dynamic works.
Yeah.
Nobody looks at the fucking lionesses and goes, poor lionesses. They're just sitting there serving the male. It just looks like a community of lions killing a bunch of shit. You know what I mean? That's what a pride of lions looks like. It looks like this domineering force in nature. There's not like a slave caste. There's not, it's lionesses and lions. Mostly you don't see the fucking male lion. He's not giving orders, right? But if bitches get out of line, they'll probably get killed. Yeah. The pride's got to work. We met a guy tonight. What did we say? We simply said that in the species of humans, men lead families. And this set this guy off, didn't it?
Oh, man. It was weird, though.
Oof.
And it was so weird that he wanted to stand against that moment because he wanted to put women on a pedestal so badly that he ended up...
He said, you're saying that in all families, men should be the leader? And then you and I both went, yes. His reply... it was that dramatic. He was just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And we were like looking at him like, who do you think should lead?
Right.
Motherfucker, and then we even tried to give him an easy out. We were like, how about this? How about we run a company, all four of us, with hundreds of employees, and every time I come to work, we're like, hey, this company is 50-50. Today I'm in charge. Tomorrow Anthony's in charge. The next day Daryl's in charge.
No.
That company would go out of business quick. And then he was trying to say, oh, so she's got to be subservient to you? And I'm like, I don't know, man. At Microsoft, does the VP of Finance feel subservient to the CEO? No. What do we have, Anthony? Do we have to do a whole segment on this?
I think so, man.
Wives are not submissive. Doesn't mean wives are subservient servants.
No.
If you got promoted to wife, that is a big position in the family.
Look, you're
women, second in charge.
A lot of women want that position. Trust me. A lot of women are actually planning.
Are you trying to say that women are only good for washing dishes? No, you simple motherfuckers. Oh my God. Does that, Anthony, we try with the analogies. Yeah. We try to use the captain and XO analogy. We try to use the general and the colonel analogy.
Look, the more analogies we give, the more simplistic the argument becomes.
You're saying wives are colonels? So wives are just corn now? That's not what we said, you dumb hoes. No, colonel, as in the rank of colonel in the army.
You said what makes you sad was that text I sent you about that profile. What makes me sad is when I hear men, especially just amongst men. Remember when I told you one episode ago, not one episode ago, but several episodes ago, and I was in a text thread and I was like, this is a text thread amongst only men, and this dude is in here.
Felt the need to take up for women.
Take care of, like, hold the trophy up.
Okay.
And say, no, women. And like, hey, women ain't in here for you to fucking cake for, bro. Like,
okay, so let's not digress too much because I want to point out what these men are doing because that man in that text thread was doing the same thing that the men we met tonight was.
Right.
So what they're doing, so guys, in life, the human condition is if you can prove that you're smarter, you feel more dominant amongst other humans. Even if you're sitting with Tom motherfucking Brady, if you know some shit he doesn't know, at a dinner party, you can feel superior to the greatest goddamn NFL player that's ever played the fucking game. That's the human condition. Because it's not true. Because it's not true. Just because you know that 4 species of anteaters lay eggs and it's one of only 5 mammals that do lay eggs, and Tom Brady don't know, Tom Brady's still better than you at life, okay? I'm just saying.
Like he was trying to tell us, do you know every woman that is a corporate leader?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, no, I don't. But I know that number is way smaller.
Oh, no. We're going to get into the specifics of this.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because I want to get into the deep specifics of this and so that we know how dumb this motherfucker sounded. But I'm going to tell you the strategy, guys, that a lot of people are going to use, especially men. The main motivator why men would take up for women is they want to appear to be more worldly and sophisticated than you are. Oh, you just think women are only good for rearing children and having families? I've been to Australia and the Middle East and parts of Russia and also parts of Listen, it doesn't change that our species is our species. The lionesses do what the fucking lionesses do. And the lions do what they do. Now, guys, you could argue I'm less sophisticated because I just want to stick to these traditional roles and shit. I already see where you guys are going. Guys, for you to be successful, and this is what we're concerned about with this on this podcast, for you to be successful, you need to understand, that's what this segment's about, right? Mm-hmm. Awareness. You need to understand that when the lionesses run the pride, they become very unhappy and they look for a new male lion. This is the whole... We never got to that part of the conversation, did we?
No, we couldn't.
We never got to that part of the conversation because all he wanted to do was talk about equal this and equal that. And like I said, we're going to get in the details here in a second. But guys, the end game here is for you guys to win the game of 3D chess. You need to understand that when a woman's in charge, even though she tells you all day long that she wants to be in charge and be a boss bitch and Michelle Obama, even though they say all that shit because they feel it in the moment, if they're in charge every day and you're the wife, this is where bitches leave you. This is the big takeaway. I'm sorry that I skipped to the end of the movie before we talked about this conversation. But this is the thing that the guy doesn't get. In the search for all this equality, because this is what guys would want, right? We would want equality. If we were like married to another guy, we'd be like, hey man, let's share the power here. Come on, dog. If me and Anthony opened a company together tomorrow, but hey man, let's no, seriously, let's share the power. Let's do this, blah, 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 blah. You know, the reason women manipulate us with this is because this is what guys would do with other guys. if they were in a relationship, a friendship, for instance. But women know this, and this is how they manipulate to get power, not to be equals. They're never doing this to be equal, guys. They're doing this to take over. That being said, let's talk about the conversation that we had. Anthony, we were talking with this gentleman at the bar, and we were just exclaiming, look, when it comes to the species of humans, there's just some real deal Holyfield shit. If you come over to a house and it's not clean, what do people do? Do they look at the man or the woman?
The woman.
They do. The woman is supposed to be the female human species is supposed to be the one that like keeps the nest tidy.
She what they say, a woman makes a house a home.
I mean, the feminine energy in a home really makes a home. It's a beautiful thing to watch it. When they put flowers up, when a space, good. Yeah, make it smell good. My wife does this amazing thing where she always buys. My wife is Asian. She don't spend money on shit. But the one thing she does is twice a year, Bath and Body Works has a fucking semi-annual sale, and she buys all the hand soaps for the house during the year.
I always compliment her,
bro.
On these goddamn
go
soaps,
into this. Go into this.
I go.
The hand soaps in my house are nothing short of luxurious.
Man, I'm telling you, when I go to the bathroom, it's an experience, bro.
And then you like wash your hands, and you're like looking forward to washing your hands. You're just like, oh my god, and you smell it. You're like, oh my god,
is this julep and mint, bitch?
Is this lavender champagne? What the fuck? Leave it to a man. We would never do this shit.
No.
We would never do this shit. That's what a feminine touch is. This is what women are good at. However, when a woman gets in her masculine energy in the house, she becomes very, very unhappy. And the spirit of keeping things equal, as humans, especially Americans, we want things to be equal, right? Lionesses don't want to be equal to the male lions in their nature. I don't know how to fucking explain this to people any better. It makes women very unhappy when they feel like they have to take control of the house. Look at any woman that you've seen that's like domineering in a house. Does she look happy to you?
Well,
she gets that weird haircut. She starts asking for a manager every time she goes somewhere. Bro, I mean, I'm not even kidding at this point.
There is a different energy she brings when she has to run the house. It's not pleasant at all. And everyone in the house feels it. And the weaker men just cower to it.
Yeah.
And if it's your job to, hey, babe, if for instance, in my house, if a woman come in my house and she's trying to, I need to take over because I see things not get, hey, go relax, go have a seat. What you need to drink? You need something to drink? All right. You don't need that? Okay. Well, go in your room, relax, close the door, listen to some music, take a nap, whatever the fuck. But I got this, okay? Relax. And see, if she goes to, but no, I got this. You don't have to go into no argument, raise your voice, all the shit. Just put her in a place where she don't have to worry about a goddamn thing. And you're like, and this is not a I'm controlling her, I'm making her do something
but someone has to be in charge.
And then when it's me doing it, I don't need your help. But when I do, I bring you in and we discuss it, right?
I want to ask you a question, Anthony. Because we always talk about the captain and the XO dynamic. Mm-hmm. If you guys don't know, we talk about the U.S. Navy. Every boat has a captain. Every boat has an XO. It's XO stands for executive officer. Let me ask you a question. Because you've seen this dynamic. You were in the U.S. Navy.
Yeah.
The captain probably handles the XO differently than anybody else, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Especially
100.
in front of other people.
Yeah, 100.
100% respect. Doesn't talk down. Hey, get the fuck out of here, XO. Because if the captain gets hit by a bus tomorrow, who's in charge of the boat?
The XO.
The XO. This is the dynamic between men and women when they're in a relationship. This whole fucking myth that if a man leads, the woman is like some sort of kowtowing, subservient, blah, 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 is an over-exaggeration from women who don't want to be cooperative and submissive, guys. But they'll go to their fucking job every day. Every fucking day, they'll go to a job and be submissive to another man or woman.
Bruh.
No fucking problem.
I was just about to say that. You're going to go and be submissive to another man. So you respect...
Who's not going to hold you at night. Who's not going to be there when you're old.
Another man that's not raising your children. Another man that's not in the household that you live in. That not you're going to be submissive to the man that's not protecting you in your four walls and outside your four walls. If somebody was to come and decide they wanted to trespass on your property, you're not respecting that man. You're respecting the man outside of your home more than the man that you lay down next to when you're most vulnerable in life. When you're asleep, that's when you're most vulnerable. You can't trust that man. You can't give that man respect and reverence and understanding that he's the protector of the household. You're going to go outside of that man and give more respect to a man who is, quote unquote, responsible for your paycheck, but not the man who's responsible for your kid having a well-balanced life and your household being a balanced home because of the man that in the position that he holds in the house and what he's doing in the house to make sure that you don't have to worry about certain shit. You're going to give respect outside of that man to somebody else because you're getting a check? Are you fucking kidding me? Any man that's bowing down to a woman who's giving more respect to a different man, I don't know how you call yourself a man, bro.
Perfect segue. So, Anthony, tell the story. We're sitting at the bar and we're talking about the simple thing that men should lead families, and you know we've really set all the foundation for this. This guy started saying what to you? Well, and you and me, but you were closer to him. He started bringing up examples of two women. So one of the women that was like, she's the CEO of American Express. Mm-hmm. You know, because all women are CEOs. What is the percentage of CEOs that are women versus men? Man, and I'm not even trying to guess. I mean, to hear women talk, they don't get these jobs because they're discriminated against.
Yeah. I'm going to say less than 20%.
You're talking about there's 20%?
I'm going to say it's less than 20%.
Wow. As far as stats from 2019, this is from... Oh, no. I'm sorry. This is only tech jobs. Hold on a second. Immediately what comes up is gender bias. Why aren't women being CEOs? Because they have kids and they marry rich guys and they fucking leave the workplace. God fucking damn it, dude.
But let's not count that.
Yeah, never. Listen, if there's a lack of women CEOs, it must be sexism. That's the only thing it could be. Like in hospitals, 91% of women, I'm sorry, of people in hospitals are women.
Well, we talked about...
Well, hold on a second. It must be that hospitals are sexist against men, right?
What?
That must be the reason that it's only women. No, man. That's not what's happening.
We talked about this. Women don't want the burden of what it takes to be the sole breadwinner. of the household, or that have the majority of the means. You watch any Kevin Samuels video.
This is so silly. What if we were talking about this with lions? Unfortunately, only 9% of lion prides are run by women. This is a disturbing. Lions are doing fine. Humans are doing fine.
Women don't want the role of what it takes to be head of the household. They don't want that role.
Now, what are we saying here? Are we saying that no sexism exists when it comes to...
No, it does.
No, it does. And here's why. Because a lot of women are fucking crazy. And unfortunately, these women that are not crazy get lumped in. And when I say crazy, guys, what do I mean specifically? Emotional, impulsive, a lot of these things that we associate with women. And let me be very, very clear. Very clear. I've worked with, and shout out to Jeannie Conger. She probably doesn't want to be mentioned on this podcast, but she was president of sales when I worked at KB Home. One of the most dynamic leaders I've ever worked under.
Interesting.
I don't say that with any kind of comical jest or anything. She was fucking amazing. Not only was she a great leader, but she was feminine. She used her sexiness to her advantage. And this was an older woman, man. She was, when she was my boss, like 43 years old. But she just kind of she was feminine, man. You know, like she was just she wasn't who was the bitch that ran for president and like accused Bernie Sanders of some shit?
Oh,
Elizabeth Warren. You know, Elizabeth Warren looks like a fucking dude in a wig, right? This woman was like feminine. She dressed feminine. 43 years old, because she's an older bitch and she smoked and shit. One of the most dynamic leaders. Fucking awesome. But she is an outlier. We keep getting digressed. So he brought up, the gentleman at the bar brought up two women. One of them was the CEO of American Express. He was trying to use this as like, you guys are like the Flintstones. This is some Barney Rubble, old school mentality. You guys don't understand. Female lions need to be working for Uber and and working the checkout at Starbucks. Who cares if they kill a few people? You know? Anthony, what were some of the more disturbing things, in all seriousness, what were some of the more disturbing things that he was saying?
Well, he kept trying to tie in, and I'm going to be honest, the guy was inebriated, right?
Let's be fair, yeah.
And
he was also we would say he probably made $200K and above.
Yeah. But
reading the context clues,
he knew. I think what it was is that he can feel our energy when we were discussing roles, gender roles,
and he thought he was more sophisticated than us,
right?
Because in his house, they made so much money that no one ever worried about money.
And what did the gentleman next to us say? Here,
Jesus, I wish I had his card right here so I could give him a shout out.
I left it in the car
because he was talking. We were probably talking about a guy, him and his wife together, probably made, and I'm just making a guess here, probably excess of $300K.
Probably plus 400.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, you were talking about rarefied air. So you and I were talking on the way home. As he was talking about how powerful women are, and you guys are living in the Stone Age, and why do you think this, and why do you think that? Why do you think a man automatically gets to lead a family? And I don't know, man. I don't know why female lions can't lead the pride. I don't know, man. It just ain't fair. No, because we're a species, and this is how women are happy. But he wanted to go full clip with this equality shit. And give us examples of 2 women. One of them was a CEO of American Express. One of them was and went to business school with him. One of them, this other woman was a CEO of something else, and yada, yada, yada. And you kept doing this thing where you're like, you're using a small group. Mm-hmm. A small group.
Oh, that triggered him.
I don't know why. Because we know in the world, most women want to marry into a financial situation.
Yeah.
By the way, this is not something new. This is how things have been going since the goddamn 1500s. This is how women have been. Now they're doing it incognito, and now they can have their own jobs. But what's the point? And I'm sorry, I got to go sidebar here because we've never talked about this on the program before. I was just recently looking to go into business school, right? There's only a certain number of seats available. So if a woman gets in and a guy doesn't get in, his life is less because he didn't get into this fucking college, right? So if the woman goes to this college, takes up a seat, but then meets a rich guy and doesn't use her degree and just stays at home and is a stay-at-home mom, you just fucking fucked up another man's life. So you went to college for nothing.
Man, Kevin Samuel points this out so many times.
Well, I don't understand what they're doing. I'm not saying that women should not be educated, but a lot of you ladies have no intent in staying in the workforce, but you're taking up college seats for men that absolutely have to work. We're going to have to do a segment on this one day.
Yeah.
Because I don't. If your intention is to get to a place where you don't work, you shouldn't be taking up seats in prestigious colleges at all. This is men should have those seats because they're going to have to fucking work their whole fucking life.
And I think women want men to have those seats because they're always complaining about why I make more than men out here in this world, right? They're complaining about I can't.
Oh man!
Oh
my God! I'm sorry. That reminded me of what we said in the conversation with this gentleman. So he was defending women. He was talking about women that are CEOs. You were saying it's a very, very small percentage. Mm-hmm. And then I said, hey, you guys were going back and forth with like, do women make a lot of money? Do they not? And I was like, hey, hold on. Let's just give them that. Let's just say all women worldwide are CEOs of American Express. Excuse me. Let's forget that those jobs are limited. Let's just say that there's just a limitless job of being CEOs of American Express. All these women that are CEOs, they are never going to date plumbers. This is the thing.
Well, you said janitors.
No, I said plumbers first.
Well, you said janitors first, and then it ended up in plumbing because we were talking about the professors and shit. That's when the professor and plumber.
Yeah. Okay. So either or, because
we were talking about a lower
plumbers, low end plumbers, and high end janitors make like the same money.
I was about to say a plumber can definitely make more money than a janitor. A janitor,
I don't know, man. There's a lot of janitors make some fucking good cheddar. If you're the janitor, like the head janitor of a school, you're making like $60K, homie.
Damn.
Like, oh yeah, man. Oh, school district pays, especially here in Houston.
Unless you're part of like you're taking care of like mechanical, like.
That's what I'm saying. You got to work the boiler down in the fucking basement.
HVAC. And shit.
It's a lot. I mean, janitors get fucking clowned on. They're running a whole goddamn facility.
Yeah, I think the high schools and the colleges, I think they do make decent money. I was just
elementary schools ain't no smaller. Ain't no bigger or smaller than high schools these days.
I was still thinking about the guys that do the utility shit, not necessarily the head janitor.
I mean, we clown these dudes for some reason. They're keeping everybody warm in the winter. They're keeping everybody cool in the summer. These motherfuckers make a little bit of cheddar, but they wear like this
uniform,
this flight suit looking uniform onesie. And even though they're making $60,000 a year, bitches are like, I ain't never gonna.
Girl, he wear a onesie with his name tag on it.
but here's the thing, like he's not selling drugs.
Girl, he got thousands of keys.
He's not doing something illegal. And by the way, if every janitor, like, according to women, like, you got to rise out of that job. If every janitor tomorrow in the fucking United States rose up and got themselves a job on Wall Street, what the fuck would these schools do? Someone has to do this job, assholes.
Well, it's not good enough.
That's not good enough. It's not good enough for
Wesley,
him.
He needs to have potential.
It's okay to be a janitor your whole fucking life. You're not doing anything wrong.
But he needs to, like, have a side hustle or something.
No, he doesn't need to have a side hustle. It's okay to live within your means and have a normal life.
Well, he needs to have some kind of passive income.
No, you should just be able to fucking have a wife and be the head janitor to school. So I brought that point up. I said, these women that are CEOs, they are never going to date a janitor or a fucking guy that's a plumber. I love using the term plumber. I'm sorry, I love using the example of plumber, rather. Because how in the fuck would the world go by if we didn't have plumbers?
Man.
How in the fuck would the world work if we didn't have plumbers?
Do you remember the freeze?
Oh, Jesus. These plumbers were working overtime. Night and day. All these frozen pipes. But that CEO, these two examples that he was using at the bar, I was like, they would never date a plumber or a janitor at a high school. He goes,
he said he disagreed. He said he disagreed, and then he brought up the example that this lady makes $2 million a year, and her husband is a professor.
So what the fuck does that mean? He was like, well, you know how much professors make?
Right. He was so... That was a professor.
So pleased by himself.
A professor in his mind was
is some lower little thing.
So beneath who he think that woman deserved. Right?
100.
And you don't know... See, the dynamics inside the household has nothing to do with financials. Yes, financials play a part. I was reading this article, man. I was looking at some statistics, and they were saying how once a family makes around $80,000 as a family, there's no more happiness involved beyond that, because the rest...
Really?
Because the rest
dude, I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
The rest of it is luxury at that point. At $80K, you can live as a family and still not worry about your lights being cut off, not worry about food, not worry about an emergency popping up. You are still capable of being able to save money and live a happy life.
It almost becomes worrisome at that point. We can't have too many luxuries. These fucking kids won't appreciate shit.
Exactly. So they were saying how when I was looking at that, I was like, man, I said $80K, I would be a little bit more okay with $120. You know what I'm saying? I was like, maybe $120 is like was the threshold. Like, if we made more than $120, then I mean, are we really hurting over here? If you're not living outside your means per se, right? If you're just driving a Toyota, you know what I'm saying? You're driving a fucking Camry and maybe a van or a SUV, but you're not out here trying to get a fucking G-Wagon at $120 a year, right?
Well, That's interesting to me because that's exactly where the person at the bar was coming from. He was making so much money that this whole conversation was trivial.
Yes.
To him. It was all theoretical. They're just so happy upon happy upon happy upon happy. All they had to do was not get in each other's way and the marriage would work, right? When you win the lottery and you're just on a 24-hour, 365-day-a-year vacation, life... It's probably not that hard to stay married, is it?
No.
You know what I mean? It's probably like, I mean,
Well, it probably is because you probably spend too much time together.
Well, I was going to say, like, when you watch that show, The Bachelor, or any of these dating shows, they're going on exotic dates, like...
Right.
Parasailing and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Every day is a new adventure. Like, when you have to go to work and... You can't decide if daddy wants to go to happy hour or mommy wants a new bracelet. Those are the kind of conflicts that break up marriages.
No. Listen, man. Having a budget to me lets you as a man be able to present your ability to lead. Babe.
There is no budget when you don't have enough money, Anthony. That's my point. It's like when you don't make a lot of money, but you can't just like live your life. Like who buys expensive rims? People at the top of the economic food chain or people at the bottom?
Bottom.
Yep. Because they just want this one fucking thing that they can have. They can just have this one goddamn thing that's theirs.
I need you to go back a little bit because I'm trying to figure out what you mean when you said.
Well, what I'm trying to say is you were saying like, hey, you gotta if you're the leader of a family, you gotta make a budget. We gotta stay on it. Man, those budgets are fucking super easy when there's a lot of money coming in. But when there's not a lot of money coming in, and everybody's kind of hungry hippos, like, well, shit, but I got the tax return. I want to get some rims. Like, this is the one thing I get this year. That's what fucking breaks up marriages, is like the amount of money not coming in. We're not going to go in a big diatribe, because we could, about how there is no middle class in America anymore, because I know you and I feel the same way on this. But this guy that we were talking to at the bar easily probably brought in $400K in his household, and he was out here just talking about how men and women should both be in charge in families and blah blah. Just a beta male, and you just knew he was going home. He was rushing home,
yes,
because it was his time to get home. Yeah,
you can tell. You can see what that energy was, right? He had to get back to the house.
There was so he had this whole thing, and you and I were kind of sitting there with our fucking jaws dropped wide open. We were like, "Wow, this guy is successful, makes really good money, and he thinks this."
Even his partner that was sitting next to him was kind of like, "Yeah, like."
He didn't think but he didn't think it. He just wanted to support his friend.
No, I'm saying he could tell that he was kind of like, I know it sounds fucked up, guys.
No, it sounds weird.
You're right. He kind of, because he didn't want to step on his toes. You could tell he didn't agree with him, but he was kind of like, let's just let this rock. You know what I'm saying? Let it ride.
He was laying down, the gentleman next to him was laying down a lot of foundation too, because he was saying, hey, you can't generalize with everything. And it was like,
and I agree.
Jesus, fuck. No, I don't agree.
I agree.
When we talk about the world, we have to be able to generalize.
Listen, I agree. I gave him that caveat because I wanted, because this is what you got to do, especially with strangers, right? Mm-hmm. You got to yield some ground before you take over, right? He's like, look, I'm gonna let you have some of this land right here, but I'm gonna be it's under my rules. You can have this land right here, but it's still under my umbrella. My rules say this. You can be on the playground, but my rules say that when I need you to move away from where I'm going, you have to move. So he was okay with that. He was okay being under the certain rules. He was trying to give caveats so that, okay, let's get this out the way. Outliers exist. Cool. Yes, I agree with you. Outliers exist.
Yes.
That's it. And there wasn't an argument beyond that, right? It was just, okay, yes, outliers exist. Now, let's talk about the general. Let's talk about what most of us, like the dude next to us,
and when
said,
you say, let's talk about the general, you're talking about the general public.
Yes, the general population. So now the guy next to us says, us people here on the ground, the ones...
I'll never forget those words.
The ones
he was like, because this gentleman, again, all the women this motherfucker hung out with were all making close to or over six figures. So he thought this was what all women were doing. I was like, oh my fucking God, how fucking far from the truth could you be? Not only do not a lot of women make six figures, not a lot of men make six figures. Oh, and before you guys call that sexist, men are better at shit than women. Otherwise, women would play in the fucking NBA. Stop, guys. Stop. So if not a lot of women, so not a lot of men are making six figures, 100% not a lot of women are making six figures. This motherfucker was just acting like this is what all women are fucking doing.
I wish.
I mean, was he really trying to do that? Was I misreading him? You were closer to him than I was. It was a little loud in there.
Yeah.
Is that what he was trying to present?
No, he was making the argument for women who wasn't present because he thought they needed a voice amongst men.
Jesus fucking Christ.
That was all that was, man.
Remember what I said? I was like, so you're arguing that we're not honoring women enough in this society. That's what you're arguing.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, is that what you're arguing?
Yeah.
That we're not honoring them enough, because let me tell you, and I'll tell you what, man, Kevin Samuels, shout out Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels he said words that I can't unhear. And he was like, if you want to know what the world thinks about men, you will watch someone reach over a starving homeless man to help a little puppy or kitten.
Facts.
I mean, he's right, and I can't unhear it. So when women come out with this whole boo-hoo, women are so fucking, mistreated and underrepresented and blah, blah, blah. I mean, jeez. Man, I'm about to start graduate school in the fall, and they're one of the groups that is getting like ahead of us and doing modules and shit like that. It's this group, and I won't mention the name, but it's just a group that is just women in business, and they get like this leg up on everybody else, and they get money. I'm not against it, but I do want to ask the question: if some of these women are getting free college, they're getting a leg up and getting a heads up on shit, do they have a commitment to our society that they have to work?
No.
They don't, do they?
No.
If they fucking marry Drake, they just get to stay home and just not work. It's a conversation we're eventually going to have on this podcast, Anthony. I know it's controversial, but do women deserve these prestigious seats in U.S. colleges? I know we have a lot of people listening overseas, and the collegiate system is not set up the same. Here in the United States, yes or no, Anthony? The the college you graduate from decides how successful you are. If I graduate from Harvard, is that better than me graduating from University of Phoenix?
100.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying.
Okay.
So for some of our people listening overseas, they don't know that.
Okay.
So if you graduate from University of Texas, that's probably way better than graduating from University of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Good example, right?
Very good example.
I know you like that example.
Yeah, that was really good. Sorry, Kevin Samuels.
What is he? By the way, yeah. I don't know, Anthony. I mean, what was probably that conversation ended with him just saying, "So I just disagree." And by the way, I give him credit. He said, "Well, then I disagree." He didn't get mad. He didn't get a little mad and emotional.
Well, what pissed me off is when he came at us with the religion aspect.
Oh yeah, you didn't say that one. Go ahead and tell our audience what he asked.
He said, "Well, let me ask you.
You think a man should be in charge of a family?"
Yes, I do. So, let me tell you. What religion background you are? I said, why does that matter? Well, it does matter. I'm like,
we
no.
did not give into it.
No,
because we knew no matter what we said,
right?
Buddhist,
it didn't matter.
Muslim,
it didn't
Christian,
matter. It didn't matter.
Wiccan,
right? It didn't matter.
He would have just shot down that religion.
Yes, because
he then started asking you because you were like, it's a very small percentage of women that make six figures. Mm-hmm. And I even said the median income for women in the United States is $43,000 a year. And he was like, "Where'd you get
that from?" Yeah,
I'm not going to tell you where I got the stats from. I'm comfortable with the data that I provided.
Yeah,
you're just going to attack,
right?
You're just going to Donald Trump my shit and fake news. So I'm not going to tell you. I'm very confident with my statistics. Like when I say 82% of divorces are filed by women, I don't have to tell you where I got that from. If you don't understand that that's true, that's on you, homie. If you don't, I mean, those statistics vary from 77% to 82%.
Yeah.
Some of them even say 89%. 82% is the stat that I've found. I'm comfortable with it. I'm comfortable that represents the conversation that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. I don't have to tell you where we're getting stats from. So that you can now just... What? You believe USCensus.com? You know that most of the people... Blah, blah. No.
Yeah, man.
No.
That got... See, it was starting to get where the conversation was no longer intelligent.
Yeah, it was need to be right. Mm-hmm. It was emotional and need to be right on his side.
Very, very female tendency like.
Now, and I want to point out again for our audience, his motivation was what? I'm more sophisticated than you guys are. And we want to point this out to you guys.
Because he made more money.
Well,
that was his...
Right. He's smarter.
Classism bullshit is what he was doing.
Yeah. He wanted to be like, I'm more sophisticated than you guys. This Barney Rubble, blah, 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 blah. And I'm here to tell you, if I would bet my daughter's life that you have a better mechanical engineering mind than he did. 100%. I am 100% comfortable in betting my daughter's life that you are a better mechanical engineer than he is. Because I've worked with you. I know you. But this motherfucker was just so fucking full of himself because he made so much fucking money that he was just like, not only that, but I mean, it was like he was a fucking white wife woman. No, I'm being serious. You know how like white women that are wives, they don't have a lot to do, so they're like, hey, straight up, I just want to let you know, Black Lives Matter. Just
what I was going to say is,
and it's like the white woman's not wrong, but they're also not right.
What I was going to say is that when we're talking about people who are in a different class, right? A different status in society, right? Just like when you hear politicians act like fucking Donald Trump said, you got to show your ID when you go to the grocery store.
Jesus,
motherfucker, when the last time you went have you ever been grocery shopping? Who's pulling out their ID when they fucking grocery shop?
By the way, that's a good point.
Nobody. What the fuck are you talking about? So you have no idea what it is to live this life. That's why the buddy next to us said, hey, us guys are here on the ground.
Oh, I don't feel like we've said that enough.
No.
So the gentleman next to him, after he shut us down, he was just like, I can't talk to these guys. They're just not as worldly.
Yeah, he literally turned his back on us.
Yeah, they're just not as worldly as me. If they don't understand that Pumbaa should be running the fucking lion pride, then they're just not as worldly as and intelligent as I am. And I'm like, hey, dude, I'll stack my SAT score against you any day. I'll stack Anthony's mechanical engineering mind against you any day. Your business school versus the one I'm starting in the fall, I'm good. Sorry, I'm good. Watch, this motherfucker went to Harvard or some shit. But it was one of those things where the guy next to him was a lot quieter.
Yes.
A lot quieter. He kept trying to get some points out, but the other guy was dominating him and shit like that. And then finally, you guys started kind of talking to the side, and I couldn't hear very well because the other guy was, kind of yelling and shit like that. And then I started hearing the guy next to you, and I was like, oh, he's one of us. He started telling his story.
Right.
And he was like, man, this pandemic, man, I got fucking laid off, lost my job and shit. He goes, my wife owns a company. She was the one bringing in the money and shit like that. And it was very humbling. And I was like, but you still believe a man should lead a family? He's like, yeah.
Exactly. There was no shifting.
There wasn't even a moment where he questioned it. And let me tell you guys, this is the point we're trying to drive home. This is not the He-Man Woman Haters Club. And guys, I hope this is the part of the podcast that really resonates with you most. So pay attention. The guy next to us was also not like a He-Man woman hater. He lost his job during the pandemic. His wife owned a company. She was the fucking breadwinner. He never doubted for a second that he was still leader of the fucking family. And guess what, guys? Guess what? This is the most important part of this podcast. Guess what? That man is still married. Because lionesses don't want to lead the pride. Does that mean lionesses are just these mindless fucking zombie slaves? No. It's very important what women do in families. But they do not want to be the leader of families. They want you, guys, they want you to lead. This gentleman next to us had no problem doing that. No problem doing that. And guess what? He's still married. What was the phrase he kept using? He's like, hey, that dude over here that's like, his family's making like $400K a year. That's all cool in theory and shit. But down here on the ground, we got to do like real shit. This shit isn't theoretical to us. And I remember like when he was saying that, I was like, man, we're going to be quoting that quote over and over again. Down here on the ground, outside of these fucking rich people bubbles, got to do real shit, right?
And he literally was saying, hey, man, I like what y'all saying. I want to be on y'all podcast. I'm like, hey, we got room for that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I would love to have him on the podcast.
I mean, that would be, and this is what I liked about that is that we were having man conversations amongst other men, and it resonated with him so much that he still wanted to be a part of that conversation. And to me, that was the most important thing that happened in that exchange tonight than anything else. Even the bullshit the other guy, I think the bullshit that guy was saying helped this guy realize that he's not alone thinking the way he thinks and moving the way he moves, and he don't have to worry about being different or trying to be status quo with the trend that society says men have to play in. Because what was he saying? This is the women's somebody brought that up. He said, "Oh, this is the women's
time," is
yeah,
what he said.
And I didn't even agree with that, but
yeah,
I was like, okay, if we're going with that. But he was like, hey, I'd rather talk to you guys. You guys are more in line with what I'm talking about, because when it comes to my family dynamic, the man is the man, the woman is the woman. It don't matter what the fucking role that play within that household. It's still the man is the man, and the woman is the woman.
I mean,
and
Anthony,
I'm not trying to define.
You've seen this in nature. You've seen a lion, like Pride. Whenever the women walk, they're all in chains with collars around their neck, and the man just drags the chain, and he
come here, bitch.
Come here, you dumb bitches! All of you dumb bitches! No, that's not how it fucking works. And when they were talking about, when he was talking about, well, we were talking about, the reason a man needs a lead is because he has the rational mind, and he sits around. We were saying women don't sit around and have conversations about like how families should work. They sit around and talk about the Kardashian show and Hot Girl Summer and all this other shit. By the way, women not being rational, women being more emotional and shit like that and more impulsive, there's cool shit to that. Maybe your wife bought a painting. We were talking about my wife buying the fucking soaps for the bathrooms.
Yeah.
I would never fucking think to do that. I'd be like, I don't know, motherfucker, just get up buy her soap, you know. But what if your wife impulsively sees this painting and it changes? God, this would look amazing in the living room. Now, every time the family comes in the living room, they see this painting. But maybe you shouldn't have spent the money on it. But it's this feminine energy. And I'm using a painting specifically because I'm using art, music, things like that. These are things that add to a man's life. Being rational and being a decision maker and being a leader is only one part of the pride. The feminine side that women bring when they're in their feminine is just as important. I just want to say it because I feel like people don't think that we're saying that. The feminine side of the equation is just as important. You're just not in charge.
Right.
We are. But what you're doing is just as important. God damn it, Anthony. What's more important in the car, the engine or the fucking transmission?
God damn.
Who cares? You need both.
Of them.
You need both.
Yeah.
Who's in charge? The engine or the transmission? I don't fucking know.
You need both them motherfuckers.
Yeah. It doesn't fucking matter. But when it comes to leading in a family,
there's only one steering wheel in that car.
Yeah. The men are the ones that are equipped to do that. I hope we brought some clarity to that topic.
Shit, we did enough time on it. So, if you didn't understand, now you do. We revisited the red pill today. We talked about the dynamics between men and women. And we told you we
talk about some other shit.
Well, we should have talked about the bourbon we experienced there, but we'll do that on another show.
Yeah, we should just do a red pill bourbon show. We want to thank everybody that came out tonight, especially you guys that came out on the live stream. We hope that this helps illuminate a little bit more red pill shit. This is not a magic thing that's going to make you better with women. It's going to make you more aware. Being more aware in nature does not mean a bear can't kill you.
Facts.
It just means you can be more aware of where bears are not.
Exactly. And avoid the motherfuckers.
I promise you, the red pill is a much better life of awareness. But it's not a magic pill for anything. And let me tell you, some of these guys, as we experienced in the bar tonight, Jesus, the blue pill is strong amongst some of these people, aren't they?
The blue pill is strong in this one. That's what I was thinking.
The blue pill is strong amongst a lot of us. But thankfully, you are here tonight on
The Red Pill Phone Tap.